This story starts with a long walk. Well, long for Mildred Gray. She's 88, needs that cane, but she needs her house.
There I go.
So recently, her grandson joined her 1.2-mile trek to the courthouse in Niles. Maybe the Berrien County treasurer could set her up on a tax repayment plan.
It literally fell into the chair. I knew she was tired, so I offered to give her and her grandson a ride back.
You don't know what a blessing he did for me when he said that he's going to bring me back. You don't know, like something just fell off the road. Thank you, Jesus.
We're not done with divine invocations.
I'm telling you, God is with me.
Our reporting partners at the Herald Palladium ran a story last week about Mildred's walk to avoid foreclosure.
And from there, we had 3 phone calls, one Thursday, Friday, and then Monday.
How could they help Mildred, who lost her job in the late 90s and put others before herself raising?
I have 14, 15 kids, grandkids in this house.
This past Saturday, a police officer dropped by Mildred's because her phone wasn't working.
I jumped up. I didn't know what had happened.
The deputy had the Berrien County Treasurer, Brett Witkowski, on speakerphone.
I screamed so loud and I didn't know, she had to hold me up.
Someone paid Mildred's back taxes.
I have no idea who the person was, where they were from, or anything like that.
Thank you for the blessing you have done for me. I don't know who, but thank you.
Her house saved.
That was the best news I could ever have.
In a time when kindness is questioned, Mildred's story
Somebody thought about me. Somebody
reminds us
the good man above is watching over me. I always believe he was.
Maria Catanzarite.
Thank you.
News Center
Thank
16.
You. Praise the Lord.
Every Sunday, the Faith Baptist faithful meets with the man upstairs. But why they're meeting down here in Shipshewana at their summer camp, it's a sign of the hard times.
I got a phone call around 2 o'clock last Sunday morning that there was a fire at our church.
7 miles away in Middlebury.
What made that church special to me was the building. The ceilings were huge. It was very old and historic. We had pretty molding in there. It was just a lovely place.
But now it's all boarded up, windows broken, beams are bending in the sanctuary.
We're disappointed that we're not able to meet in our facilities.
Yet they're hitting the high notes inside the camp's little chapel, because not all is lost, not even close.
You know, the church is actually our congregation, and I would miss them if anything happened to them, so I'm happy that we're still around to be together.
If temptation comes knocking to worry about what's next, maybe this is a sign of good times to come.
If Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, the happiest place in Indiana just might be a little over an hour south of South Bend.
Maria Catanzarite takes us to the circus capital of the world.
If you're looking for the sound of music, you're not going to find it in Peru, Indiana. But the best show,
I can have the next person in line, please,
is on Broadway.
For that couple hours, you can forget your problems and just run away with the circus.
Carmen Bickle.
I've been involved a little over 40 years.
In what seems like
this is my 10th year in the circus.
Everyone else in town.
Most of my friends are in the circus.
Is a part of
this show takes about a year to plan.
The amateur circus
Performing in Circus
in Peru, close to where famous circuses would winter in the late 1800s.
So a bunch of circus fans in '58, they wanted to get together and see if they couldn't revive some part of the circus.
And almost 60 years later, these school-age volunteers from Miami County.
Oh, them kids are from 7 to 18, and some of them, they can go to 21.
Are playing with fire, putting their necks on the line, and leaping to new heights.
It's kind of hard to be afraid of some other things when you're walking a wire or flying on a flying trapeze.
And speaking of that wire,
I'm very thankful when this act is over because it is very stressful as a parent to watch them go across the high wire because it's real.
7 young performers preparing to form a 7-person pyramid on the high wire.
It's honestly just really helped me with my trustworthiness and stuff because I have to literally put my life in some other people's hands, and I have other people's lives in my hand also.
Not to mention the band. A backdrop to an ethereal evening. And in a time when DVR dominates and streaming is king, this great American tradition is something you just have to see for yourself. In Peru, Maria Catanzarite, News Center 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty unbelievable.
These kids got moxie.
Yeah, they sure do. They may end up national.
Well, the Peru Amateur Circus has 10 shows during mid-July every year. It's part of the Circus City Festival that wraps up this weekend.
We have all the details plus show times listed on our website and app. Just look for this story after the newscast.
Well, Netflix and a nap sound like a cure for boredom. As Maria Catanzarite explains, one local artist just needs a blizzard.
On this particular Friday, the band Interstate Transit's on tap at the Vegetable Buddies Bar, where harmonies hypnotize, alongside the bluesy blend of piano and guitar, one of which is rocked by Aaron Sandock, right there on the left. That's his instrument, but his art on the wall needs none.
I've been criticized, as not being an artist, and whatever, that's fine. If that's what you want to say, then it doesn't bother me.
Aaron pours paint in the studio below the bar stage. He got to this point of color-crusted caps by way of boredom and a blizzard about 4 years ago.
I experimented, and over a 4-day period, the end result was, jelly, which is what I call my art.
Combining pouring medium, that white stuff, and a couple of drops of acrylic paint, Aaron steered his way in a different direction.
Vibrations and sometimes music to move the paint on the canvas.
A much-needed change of course compared to drawing what came to mind.
It wasn't fun for me anymore because I was just constantly critiquing, my skills or the output that I made.
He still has those moments.
Because if they don't work, then I don't like it.
But his amorphous art brings him balance.
It's relaxing. It's relaxing now.
Plus, it's opening the window to new audiences. Like this one time at a Chicago art show, a recently divorced woman bought one of Aaron's pieces because it visually showed her what to do with her life.
That's an honor, too, to just be a piece of me present in someone's house that's helping others feel better. Then I was like, that's crazy.
And it is crazy how we discover what we need when we least expect it. For that woman, Aaron's picture, and for Aaron, balance during that boring blizzard about 4 years ago that allows him to live in the moment from one art form to another. Maria Catanzarite, News Center 16.
Aaron's art goes beyond the canvas. As you saw, he paints on windows, and he can also pour his art on bar tops, guitars, skateboards, and clothes.
Being a preteen or a teenager isn't always a walk in the park, but some after-school lessons have taught young women ways to make life better in the long run. That's the goal of Girls on the Run. The program in Berrien County culminated in last night's 5K. Maria Catanzarite reports.
Sign, everywhere a sign. That this is a 5K from a fairy tale. Young harriers getting their hair all happy before they run. And sporting tutus, yeah, they run in those. So where else on earth do pre-race processions rival an Olympic parade? Not even a question.
GOT!
The Berrien County Youth Fair, a pink plaster carnival for a cause.
Without this Girls on the Run program,
An alum of the Berrien County arm, McKenna Smith.
I just learned a lot of the basic essentials to having good positive body image and self-confidence. International Academy at home. The most important thing on Girls on the Run taught me is to always be nice and never be mean. Not to be mean to other people and never bully.
Talismans for these preteens. Have you ever been bullied before?
Yes. Yes.
Though with a little practice.
If I probably watched it, I would get in trouble.
She's gotta be from out of town.
Girls countywide are learning to stand up for themselves through breakout sessions.
Why might your friend tell you to do something you might not want to do?
And breaking a sweat. Simple life lessons learned over 10 weeks' time, tested on the starting line.
I don't think I could have missed them. Do you? You can see there's so many girls, over 900, and just touches so many lives. Because in the race of life, all these girls are finishing number 1. In Berrien Springs, I'm Maria Catanzarite for News Center 16.
Awakening the Echoes is a traffic stop on Notre Dame's campus. Kids in the back seat for a reason you may not think.
Got half an hour until we need everything for the first course.
Chef Calvin Metz is mixing up the roster.
One hand wet, one hand dry.
For line cooks at the Morris Inn.
I thought it was needed more so than being successful.
Kids.
If you're like watching a TV show or something, you'll think they're like intimidated.
And cops.
And scary.
From Notre Dame Security Police.
That was a feat.
My job as captain for our department is to make sure that our officers are approachable, and I think every law enforcement officer needs to be approachable.
Softening the approach.
Nice and slow, don't drop it, don't drop it.
Is an apron.
It's sinking.
A new program called Cooking with Cops.
All right.
Joins campus police
just hold on for a little
and kids from the Robinson Community Learning Center.
Smell good, they give me an idea.
Obviously, we'd love to have some of these kids grow up and be chefs. We'd love to have some of these kids grow up and be police officers here in our community. It's an opportunity just for us to partner and expand people's horizon.
To see the officers not just as people who have a uniform, but that they're fathers, they're teachers.
Careful, remember that's a blade right there, okay? Don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, we have a uniform and the badge, but we're also everyday people just like you, and that's behind the badge.
Where are you on the school now?
It takes key ingredients,
Grand finale.
time, and a little elbow grease to make a real
Oh man, you are so quick.
winning recipe.
Holy moly.
Yeah, they're not what you think they are, like scary, and yeah, but they're pretty nice.
Maria Catanzarite.
Kids over here, we're all good.
News Center 16.
How about 1, 2, 3, cooking with cops? Cooking with cops! Later.
Amid the rumbles and chirps in downtown Bridgman, the American flag quietly commands your glance. But at one point in a nearby neighborhood, patriotism was half the Hidden Creek name.
There wasn't any.
Okay, so one person flew a flag.
The flag got to be too much for them and they took it down.
Until two people took out the task.
We put up these flags in our neighborhood, and we like them because they make our neighborhood look more patriotic.
Emily Howell, she's 11, and on the right, her 7-year-old sister. July marks their second season of a summer project where they go door to door, asking neighbors if they'd like an American flag out front.
We've always wanted to fly the flag, but we just never got around to doing it.
For a small price,
$35.
people pay for a flag to fly on national holidays and major dates in the military. The girls, plus their mom and dad, handle everything from assembly.
We bought a pole and we drilled into it.
To storage, planting Old Glory around 8 in the morning.
And take them out at dusk.
Which can be tiring and tough.
So we have to roll out the flag.
But when it's in your blood,
we have family members who are in the military.
You go above and beyond.
I think just to see two young people that care about our freedom and that care about our flag and want to know the history behind it, I think that's really awesome.
And all these sisters want is for you to be
touched.
Not by their work, but
that our country is free.
31 reminders in Hidden Creek. I'm Maria Catanzarite for News Center 16.
Water just came up so fast with all the rain and snow, and it was nature. It just happened so quick.
Richard Young.
I'm sorry I lost everything.
Yep, you're hearing right. Richard's without a home. He'd been there 40 years. But the bright side is this caravan of kindness flooding River Springs Estates. Helping hands
such a good helper.
All over the place.
I make phone calls, people show up. People are calling saying, how can we help?
Mike Hildebrand's head of all the volunteers.
We had no idea. You know, there might be 10 people, there might be 1,000.
Actually, I heard about this from my friends. They were like, hey, you should sign up to do the relief thing, and they showed me the link, and I was like, ooh, super cool, let's do it.
Obviously, it could always have been worse, but we're a pretty strong community. We'll get through this.
It's very nice to see everybody come together to help out, so.
It is very nice.
Mike says there are at least 150 volunteers here today pitching trash, helping to clean out River Springs Estates. And yes, 150, that's an impressive number, but let's remember, this is Berrien County. They come together like this in times of tragedy.
I know a lot of people really needed help moving things. Some people weren't even here, so we just decided to go out into the yard and move out their stuff, so at least when they come back, they can collect the things that are worth them having.
I couldn't do this on myself or anybody. And the community in Berrien Springs has been really good. So, hey, I just stay positive and see what happens on the next day.
Great advice, no matter the weather. Maria Catanzarite, News Center 16.
When's the last time you had hard copy of a photo? It may have been a while since we store those memories on our phones, but local college students are giving single moms memories they can't erase. Maria Catanzarite shows us why they're painting it forward.
Do you want some brownie? These are the moments you live for. The coos, the curls, the claps. And as time ticks, your phone clicks.
So I have them on hand, a camera on hand.
Randy Dial
Here,
doesn't want to miss a thing. Same for Casada Yobi, both alums of Hannah's House, a home for single moms facing homelessness.
This is something that's definitely we're celebrating 25 years of babies being born and having safety in their life.
That celebration's already on Crosstown in Mishawaka. Michael May's art class.
And we have darker pencils over there.
At Bethel College.
I wanted to do something, and there's only one thing that I can really provide, and that's artwork. And I'm not actually doing any of the artwork. I'm just facilitating all my students doing the artwork for these mothers.
Portraits of their children. This one's by Cassie Shelton.
I see these two little boys and they're playing with trucks and they seem very happy, and I'd like to know the story.
The same as she said, I would like to know the backstory behind the parents and the child and how they've been so far since being in Hannah's house and what they're looking forward to after they leave Hannah's house.
Jamari Robinson's a sophomore.
It would feel great to help someone out because, you know, coming from my background, there's a lot of people out there that don't have stuff like this.
I'll be able to see it tangibly, and I'll be able to hold it. I'll be able to put it up in my house so everyone that walks through my house will be able to see this wonderful portrait that somebody did for us for no money at all.
For Randy, it's a freeze frame of finding hope.
I was able to let go of the past and to live in the present and to grow as an individual and to develop a relationship with God and to be the best mother that I can be and get all the maternal support that I had from Hannah's house, and I still have it for life.
Just like she'll have with her portrait. Maria Catanzarite, News Center 16.